Ladies and gentlemen, this is officially the final episode of FC24 here on the channel. If you've been keeping up with the series, you'll know we are out of the FA Cup, we're out of the Carabao Cup, and we are currently sitting in 9th position in the Premier League. So with just 3 months of the season remaining, there's very little left for us to play for beyond like Europa League qualification, which is probably a bit of a long shot, and it's going to be the final season anyway, so even if we make the Europa League, we won't be playing it. So I see very little point in spreading the remaining games of this season across 3 episodes, and instead we're going to condense them down. So we're going to play 3 games in today's episode, 1 per month, beginning with a home fixture against Newcastle United. I'll show you highlights of that. I'll show you highlights of one of these games in April as well. I haven't decided which yet. And then we will round things out with a featured game against West Ham at the London Stadium. I'll say it again at the end of the episode, but just for those who don't make it that far, thank you for all of the support that you've shown the channel over the course of FC24, especially if you've been a regular viewer and you've returned to the channel through the likes of the Everton rebuild, the New England Revolution series in the MLS, the Norwich City career mode, which has of course turned into a Fulham career mode now, and especially those who were there at the very beginning with the original Redmond Rangers Road to Glory career mode, which will be returning in FC25. The channel is only a year old, but already we have 4,500 subscribers, which is way more than I anticipated having at this point when I started the channel. So really appreciate everybody who's been along for the journey this year. And I'm really looking forward to FC25. I think it's going to be such a good game. And I think we're going to have so many good career mode series over the course of it. But with that being said, we have 12 games to get to in today's episode. So we better make a start. And it's going to be a tough start against Newcastle United. We saw the crazy squad that they put out last time against us. And there's a number of familiar faces from that starting 11. Some of them a little less than fully match fit though, so we could be able to take advantage of that. And who said we had nothing left to play for? We played like absolute madmen in this one. Rico Henry delivering into the box early, where Josh Sargent almost opened the scoring, but his header was wide of the young Newcastle United goalkeeper's post. Newcastle United too played their football as well though. Bernd Leno being forced into a save early on. He was forced into a second save in quick succession from the resulting corner, before moments later parrying the ball away at his near post once more to keep things level. There was very little he could do about this one though. Viktor Gyökeres, the beneficiary of an extremely kind bounce. He made no mistake with the finish though. A really neat, tidy finish tucked away in that far corner. But going in at halftime 1-0 down felt really unfair, and we came out for the second half with a bit between our teeth. Xaver Schlager getting things started nice and early in the second period before Rodrigo Muniz broke free in the penalty area to level the scoring just after an hour into the match. Josh Sargent pulled it back, I think initially for Darius Alaru on the edge of the box. He let it run and Muniz absolutely buried it. And from there it was back and forth, both teams searching for a winner. And I thought that Darius Alaru had found it as Rodrigo Muniz found him in the penalty area, but his shot was pretty much straight at the Newcastle keeper. And Bernd Leno was called upon to make another trio of saves. First from Bruno Guimaraes, then from Christian Medina, before finally he parried away the shot of Viktor Gyökeres after a really nice passing move from Newcastle. And whilst Newcastle couldn't take their chances, Yusuf Poulsen came on and absolutely buried his. It didn't show up in the highlights, but Poulsen actually hit the post moments before this, but he absolutely buried his second opportunity. And we would run out 2-1 winners late at Craven Cottage. So we do get the final episode kicked off with a win, and we'll be looking to go back-to-back once more as we travel to St Mary's to take on Southampton. And we do grab another victory despite a Southampton penalty late in the game, which Armstrong misses. Bassi opens the scoring in the first half an hour into the game. Southampton equalised shortly after the break, but Muniz played a pretty pivotal role in the previous game. He scores the winner in this one. And can we make it 3 wins out of 3 here as we host Leeds United at Craven Cottage? We can't. We do come away with a point though. Timo Werner opening the scoring this time. Solari equalising in an eventful second half. Pirro gives Leeds the lead That's always tripping me up. Gives Leeds the lead 10 minutes from time, but Timo Werner this time equalises shortly after. So as the calendar prepares to tick over into April, we are kind of on the brink of a European place. We are level on points with Crystal Palace in 6th position. They do, however, have 2 games in hand on us. Manchester United, Arsenal also have a game in hand on us as well. We did, of course, drop crucial points against Crystal Palace in the last episode, but we face Manchester United in April, so I will play that game and show you the highlights. First, we have a game against Wolverhampton Wanderers at Molineux Stadium to get to, though, and this time it is a loss. So we've won a couple on the bounce. We pick up a point in the last game. We do finally lose in today's episode, though, and it is to Wolves. Guedes and Neto scoring for them before Werner scores another one late on. Only a consolation goal, though. And that does bring us to that game against Manchester United at Craven Cottage. A bit of a rotated 11 for this one. Games come in thick and fast, but we've found some success playing 2 attacking midfielders in Alaru and Vargas, so we're going to continue with that here again today. We got off to a great start in this one as well. Josh Sargent playing like an absolute man possessed, forcing a save from Andre Onana very, very early on, within 5 minutes, I believe. We forced Onana into another save from the resulting corner. Xaver Schlager again finding Josh Sargent. He turned his header towards goal, but it was parried over the bar by Manchester United goalkeeper who had a very good game. Despite Onana's good performance, though, it wouldn't be enough to prevent us going a goal up. Josh Sargent got the run on Harry Maguire, who had a torrid time at the back today. Sargent absolutely ate him for breakfast. And Sargent almost turned provider for Rodrigo Muniz shortly later, but Onana made yet another save, this time a spectacular reflex save to parry away. But despite a blistering start to the game, we couldn't prevent Manchester United from levelling the scoring. Bern Leno originally made a very good save at his near post, but we were just so slow to close Rasmus Højlund down. He still shouldn't have been able to bury it at such a narrow angle, though. But United would only be level for a handful of minutes, and Barbie this time driving into the box, finding Josh Sargent once more, and again he made no mistake with the finish, firing past Onana before Sargent got the run on Harry Maguire once more, and this did end up going down as a Harry Maguire own goal, rebounding off the defender's leg into the air and over the sprawled body of Onana to make it 3-1. And 3-1 is how the game would finish, and the remainder of April went pretty well for us as well. 1-goal victories over both Brentford and Leicester City, and we can kind of brush over the 4-0 defeat to Chelsea, to be fair. Which means that with just 4 games remaining, we are this close to a Europa League place. We are level on points and on games played with Liverpool, who currently occupy 5th position. And it's only Newcastle that could usurp them and us. A game in hand and 2 points behind. So a win here against Nottingham Forest would be absolutely ideal. A very, very winnable game. We don't manage to get the win, though. Morgan Gibbs-White scores in the first half for Nottingham Forest. Timo Werner, he has just been scoring countless late equalisers in today's episode. He does so again here today, which leaves us with back-to-back Merseyside teams before we take on West Ham in our featured game of the episode. First Everton, and we do overcome Everton. Sargent scores in the very first minute of the game. Beto misses a penalty to equalise for Everton, but they do equalise shortly before the end of the game through Metcalf. But Vargas in the 89th minute, so he scored in the first and the 89th minute to come away with all 3 points in this one. So it's a victory over Merseyside Blue. Can we do the same thing against Merseyside Red? Indeed, we can't. We do grab 2 goals, but Liverpool grab 4 of their own. Luis Diaz amongst the scorers, as well as Szoboszlai, which does mean it's going to come down to the final game of the season to determine who's going to grab that last Europa League spot. Right now it is occupied by Liverpool, who take on Nottingham Forest in their final game of the season. Manchester United could still grab hold of that position, but it's extremely unlikely due to the goal difference. Really, it's between us and Liverpool with 2 points behind them, so we would need a Liverpool defeat against Nottingham Forest, and we would of course need to beat West Ham. So for one final time on FC 24, let's head over to the London Stadium and see if we can achieve one final objective before we put this game to bed. So we are up in the commentary box at London Stadium, and first things first, I have no idea why we are in our pink kit. I think this could cause some issues over the course of the game. No idea what was wrong with our white home kit. I guess just simply because we are away, the game defaulted to the away strip. But I swear if your home kit doesn't clash with the opponent's home kit, it leaves it as it is. Sargent! 1-0! If it is going to cause issues, it's going to cause issues for West Ham. Perhaps the defenders thought there was an extra defender at the back post. It wasn't an extra defender. It was our main man, Josh Sargent. He rose highest. To be fair, I think that's the West Ham left back. That is not who you want marking Sargent in the box. Basically a free header. And what a blistering start to the game. We've had several in today's episode. Blistering start against Newcastle, although we couldn't take advantage of that, and Gyökeres was the one to score first. Blistering start against Manchester United. We saw Sargent scored in the first minute in one of the games that we quick simmed as well earlier in the episode. So, rapid start here at the London Stadium. And we will have to keep an eye out, I think, in the top right-hand corner for updates from the Liverpool game, because, of course, there are two criteria that must be met if we're going to finish in that final Europa League spot. And we are currently meeting that first criteria, which is that we, of course, need to come away with a victory. So we'll have to... I can see that Liverpool are in 5th position still in the top left-hand corner. I believe those were as the points were, though. I believe Liverpool were on 59 and we were on 57 heading into the game, so that's not updated with the current scores. As West Ham look to break and get back level immediately. What a challenge from Diop, though. Diop gets the nod today alongside Bissek and Bassi at the back. Diop has really stepped up a gear since Bissek has arrived. So much so that he's taken that spot on the right-hand side of our defence, when the whole point of bringing in Bissek was so that we could have... Is that Alaru in the box? It is. Alaru is such a good player. I knew he was going to be good when we signed him. I've been desperate to sign him for... I want to say so long, but for as long as the Norwich City career mode was going, I don't think I was looking into him with a club before that. I don't think I was looking into him as far back as Everton, and certainly not with the New England Revolution. But I definitely wanted to sign him basically for the duration of the Norwich City career mode. And I feel like I had him on my radar even before that. And he has proven to be as good as I anticipated and even better. Just so versatile. Plenty of pace, but plenty of strength. Really good technical abilities, high work rates. 4-star skill moves, 5-star weak foot. Just another player who, like Ruben Vargas, just feels much higher than his overall would suggest. A couple of decent play styles as well, or more than a couple. 4 play styles, I think, if not 5. Top player. And I was thinking earlier in the episode, against both Manchester United and Newcastle United, when I played them, firstly I was thinking, who have been the most frustrating players to play against over the course of FC 24, because against Newcastle we faced Upamecano, And he undoubtedly makes the list. I'm sure I talked about that when we played him, when we played Newcastle last time as well. Upamecano is just such a menace. Easily one of the most frustrating players I've played against. But then also, when I was playing Manchester United, Andre Onana definitely fits the bill. He was unreal. I know Sargent put 3 past him, but we could have had 5 or 6 in that game. Like, really clear-cut chances as well that he somehow managed to save. And then Højlund up front is always just such a pain to play against as well. He's a little bit like Alaru in the sense that he is quick but also strong. And he's such a good finisher in the game, at least. Maybe not so much in real life. But in FC 24, he's an unbelievable finisher. Give him half a chance, as we saw earlier in the episode, and he will absolutely take it. So I think what I'll do is round out my list of most frustrating players and probably come up with an 11 and post that at some point. Probably just in the community tab and in the Discord. As West Ham look once more to get level again. That's good defending though from Jot and from Emerson Royale this time. Marcel Schlager a little bit short, but we do maintain possession. But I did think as well, who have been the players that have been most fun to play with in FC 24 as well? Because Alaru is awfully close to making that list. I'm not sure he will make it, simply because we haven't used him for long enough. You know, we only bought him in January. He's only featured in a handful of episodes. Oh, that's a poor cross. But I think I'll do the same thing and put together an 11 of most fun players from our career mode series this year. So I would appreciate your suggestions in the comments. I have a handful of players in mind who are featured in the various career mode series. But I would, of course, like your input for that one. So drop some names in the comments below. Who have been the most fun players to have featured in our career mode teams this year? And I'll put together an 11 and I'll post that as well. So that includes OGs of the channel might be able to think all the way back to Redmond Rangers, the original Creator Club Road to Glory, which will be coming back in FC 25. But that was the series that began the channel. I wouldn't, if you haven't seen it, I wouldn't necessarily recommend going back and watching it, because those were the first videos I ever made, and then they're maybe not the best, to put it lightly. But videos have improved a lot since then, if I do say so myself, and they'll be a lot better in FC 25 as well. But that was the initial career mode save of the channel, the inaugural save of the channel. So people who have been around since then may be able to think all the way back to Redmond Rangers. And I definitely have a player in mind from Redmond Rangers who I would like to include in my most fun players 11. But more likely, people are going to be thinking of players in the Everton 11. Nathan Patterson, Anton Stack, Asan Diao is a name that I think is almost certainly going to feature. Potentially players from the New England Revolution series, although probably not. Maybe a handful of players from Norwich. Josh Sargent, of course. Borja Sainz, Marius Wolf, potentially. Got to be 2-0. Rico Henry with the scissor kick. Can't turn it goalwards, though. And then, of course, Fulham as well. Might be a handful of players in this particular squad. Darius Alaru being one of them that might feature in the 11 as well. Good pressure high up the field. Really good pressure around midfield as well from Rico Henry. It's a poor pass, though. But 35 minutes into the game, we do still have a single goal lead. And the clash of kits is causing a bit of an issue. Probably not quite as much as I thought it might, especially in the shadows of London Stadium. It's always kind of an awkward stadium to play at, I feel like, because A, the shadows, It's so dark. But then because of the camera angle as well, I do like that there is good save Bernd Leno as the first he's really had to make today. But it is a good one. Oh, Bissek beaten. Schlager comes back to cover though, deals with it well. I do like that the camera angles are slightly different when you go from stadium to stadium, but this one at the London Stadium, I don't know, there's just something a little off about it. It's just a little too low, potentially. Bournemouth's Vitality Stadium is another one. That one definitely is too low. Kind of too flat, I would say, that one. This one feels a little more flat as well. I think that's it. Partly at the very least. Bissek. 5 minutes to go until half time. Still 1-0 up. Haven't had an update from the Liverpool game yet. We may be able to see the score at half time as Rico Henry, big switch of play, had the time to do it, and he found Emerson Royale, and it's a really good ball into the box. Muniz didn't quite get enough of a jump on it to win the header, but it was a very good effort from Emerson Royale to pick him out. A very good effort here from Rico Henry, trying to do the same. Schlager can't win the second ball on the edge of the box either, as West Ham head clear. Bit of a loose pass from Bissek, but it actually works out well into the path of Emerson Royale. Being hustled and harried by a couple of West Ham defenders. And I'm not sure how there isn't a free kick in there. Really unsure about that. I thought the West Ham defenders, both of them, had a couple of nibbles at Emerson Royale, who does get back and win possession. And there goes the halftime whistle. So we're doing our bit. We just have to hope that Nottingham Forest are doing theirs as well. Thank you for checking out this episode of our realistic Norwich City career mode. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you leave a like. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're approaching the end of the FC24 cycle now, but there'll be plenty more content to come with the release of FC25, including 12th man memberships. If you want to get more involved with the channel, check out the membership tiers on my homepage. Memberships start at less than £2 per month and come with a whole host of benefits and rewards, including you being able to feature in my career mode saves. We'll be starting a road to glory with a created club as soon as FC25 drops. So if you want to be included in the save or even feature in our starting 11, become a 12th man member of the channel today. 12th man members also get exclusive early access to all of my videos, not only my career mode series, but also my realistic slider sets and everything else in between. If you want more information about exactly what each tier involves, be sure to check out this video on my homepage. If memberships aren't for you, you can also join the public area of my Discord server, or just keep watching and enjoying the content for free right here on YouTube. As always, I appreciate all of your encouragement and support. Now, let's get back to the video. So, back out for the second half here at the London Stadium. And I always feel like the featured games I choose are always the boring games that I play when recording each episode. It's been a little bit different today just because we're covering 3 months worth of football, and we're just playing the final game of the season just because it's the final game of the season. And West Ham have the equaliser. It's an incredible finish, to be fair, from Maxwell Cornet. Nothing Bernd Leno can do about that. And we said heading into the break that we're doing our bit. Just need to hope Nottingham Forest are doing theirs. We are no longer doing our bit. Great finish. But as I was saying, I kind of have to choose the featured game ahead of time. Just because, obviously, it's unedited. I need to commentate that one in full. So unless I was to commentate every single game of the episode, and then choose which one I include as featured, but even then I have to go through the highlights at the end for those games that I am just showing the highlights of. Sargent in the box, headed clear by West Ham though. So just logistically I have to choose the featured game beforehand, so it's always kind of a roll of the dice. Which game do you think is going to be most entertaining? Sometimes we just go with which one is the most important as well, depending on where we are in the series and the table and on a number of other different contingencies. But we've had two incredible games against Newcastle and Manchester United. This one a little bit less incredible. Been a decent enough game by all means, but we put in two incredible performances, and I just kind of wish you guys could have seen those in a bit more detail. Alaru. Oh, side netting. Unusual to hit the side netting from that kind of an angle. But that is indeed what occurs. Trot apparently was happy enough that it was going wide. As we look to get back ahead of West Ham and fingers crossed ahead of Liverpool once more. Muniz with a really good run. Emerson Royale with an early cross. Too many West Ham defenders deep to defend. Didn't cause too much of an issue. Kudus and Naziri up front for West Ham today. And this is, of course, the last game of FC 24. FC 25 is not too far away, though. We will be taking a brief hiatus after this episode on the channel until FC 25, where we will be kicking things off with Crystal Palace. So just a quick update or two about FC 25 when it eventually comes around. Ruben Vargas, good run into that channel. Can we cut inside and beat Mavropanos? Yes, we can. Can we get the shot away? No, we can't. Vargas wins it back, though. Apparently illegally, according to the referee. Not sure how. It's Kurt Zuma. Gives it back to Ruben Vargas once more. A second bite of the cherry, potentially. And again, he can't get the shot away. James Ward-Prowse this time dispossessing him. West Ham come away with then Naziri. Fantastic defending positionally from Rico Henry. So, as I was saying, just a quick update or two about FC 25. I did post about this in the community tab as well, but there will be a slight change to the schedule for FC 25. Still 4 videos per week. New videos at 4 PM. All of that remains the same. But new videos will be coming out. I need to get this right now. On a Wednesday. I'm going to get this wrong. Check the community tab, though, because I've forgotten what I've changed my schedule to. I want to say it's like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, potentially, is correct. That feels correct. Could be slightly off. Great challenge, Calvin Bassey. But yeah, the videos are coming out on slightly different days. That's really the long and short of it. And there will, of course, be 2 series fairly early on. There will be the Redmont Rangers Road to Glory career mode. And there will be a series running alongside it with a real team. That will be the case as I have planned at the moment. Anyway, Alaru! What a save! What a save from Trot! I thought we were back ahead, but it's an incredible save. Really should be 2-1 up. As Xaver Schlager prepares to take the corner, headed clear by West Ham. Oh, and I thought that was given straight to Muniz there for a second. We're going to step up into our attacking game plan, though, for the remaining 25 minutes or so. It doesn't really matter if we concede. We obviously don't want to go all out too soon and invite West Ham to hit us on a counter-attack and grab a goal, but we can start to press the issue a little more because we do need all 3 points today. Great challenge, Calvin Bassey. And Ruben Vargas comes away. Sargent, great run. Muniz the same. Little reverse pass into Alaru, who strikes, and it's wide. It's wide. I couldn't really go across the goalkeeper there. I had to pull it near post just because of the positioning of the defenders. Snatched at it, though. But yes, I'm planning to run 2 series simultaneously all year long. Redmont Rangers will go for the entire duration of the year. Again, this is what I have planned. Plans are, of course, always subject to change, but this is ideally how I see it playing out. 10 seasons of Redmont Rangers. We start in League 2. We embark upon the road to glory. So we do 10 seasons for the duration of the year. Same format as these episodes. 1 calendar month per episode. So it will take us, 10 weeks or so. 10 weeks. Not 10 weeks. 10 episodes or so. So about 5 weeks, about a month and a bit to get through a season. And we go as far as we possibly can with the League 2 club. But then that will be 2 episodes per week. Alongside that, we'll be running another career mode with a real team. That's going to be Crystal Palace to start the year. Oh, how has Muniz not managed to keep hold of that? So 2 episodes of Redmont, 2 episodes of Crystal Palace. And we'll go with Crystal Palace for 3 or 4 seasons or so. Again, much like we have been doing here on FC24. And then we'll switch to another real team. And then that new series will also run alongside Redmont Rangers. And we'll keep rotating through real teams throughout the year. Good save, Leno. What was it I wanted to say next about the schedule? We've covered videos changing days, big switch of play. We've covered 2 episodes per week. Not so much the new schedule, but the new series we need to talk about slightly as well, as Emerson Royale delivers. Muniz can't win the header. Ken Sargent, yes he can, back across goal. And Alari was absolutely manhandled in the box. Referee says absolutely nothing. We'll put it in once more though. What a ball that is. Emerson Royale, deliver. Muniz at the back post again, can't win it. Schlager can't bring it down. Won by Calvin Bassi. Let's deliver again with Emerson Royale. Quick burst of pace to find Sargent. Can't win the header. We'll deliver again with Emerson Royale. And it's straight at the goalkeeper. Poor cross. So we will be using core DNA again in FC25. However, we won't be using it in the Crystal Palace career mode. Bosco is working on a core DNA 2.0, which should release around the same time as FC25. So we will be using core DNA for the Redmont career mode. I won't be starting the Redmont Rangers Road to Glory until we get core DNA 2.0, because like that's basically a necessity. We can't start a 10-season Road to Glory without core DNA at the very beginning. Like we need it. So we will be hanging on for that before we start the Road to Glory. Alaru into the box, back across goal, hooked clear by West Ham. Bowen deep in his own half. Alaru can't quite steal it away. And West Ham come away with En-Nesyri. We haven't made a substitution today. I've just been rambling the entire game pretty much. Diop can't quite dispossess En-Nesyri. Bissett hooks clear. Only as far as James Ward-Prowse puts it clear, thank God. We will make a substitution or 2 here for the last 5 minutes and step up into our ultra-attacking game plan. So all 5 changes for Johannes Thorup and Fulham as we step up into our ultra-attacking game plan and enter the last 5 minutes of the game. And as I was saying, we won't be using core DNA for Crystal Palace. Oh my God, I still don't understand that at all. I powered that up, but so long trying to play that into the right midfielder. Sargent steals the ball away, keeps it in play, can't beat his man though, steals the ball away once more. Big switch of play is on. Timo Werner nods it into the path of Pereira. He finds a little bit of space. Can he grab the winner? No! Saved again by Trott! Oh! This game was there for the taking. 2 unbelievable saves from the West Ham goalkeeper. Oh! Andreas Pereira, maybe not the ideal candidate to take on that effort. But really, you would back almost anyone to score. Pereira once more blocked this time. Adrabayo out to Sargent. Drives at the West Ham defender. Can't squeeze past him though. And it's going to be a West Ham throw-in that we can't steal back. Paulson pressing. Looks like the game is going to pass us by. And it's not going to matter what happens in the Liverpool game at this rate. And Barbu, can he win it back for one final attack? There is still 1 minute of added time. If we can steal the ball and launch a quick counter-attack, it looks as though we may be able to. We've put too much on the pass. Oh, we put too much on the pass. Just tried to chip that in. Oh, we may still have something. We may still have something if the referee allows us. Sargent. He's just knackered. He's just knackered. He's still not giving it up, though. No! How can you blow the whistle there? And Barbu's in the penalty area with the ball. Oh. One final opportunity to grab a winner and the referee denies us. How can you blow the whistle there? Moments before I could understand as Sargent is wrestling for possession. But as soon as we win possession and Mbabu has the ball in the West Ham box, surely we can continue to play there. So it's not going to be 5th position. It may well be 6th and Europa League. Nonetheless, though, depending on how the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup finished out. So let's at least check on those. Let me also tell you what I was trying to tell you at the end of the West Ham game there as well. So we won't be using Core DNA for Crystal Palace. We will be using Core DNA 2.0 for Redmond Rangers as soon as that is released. But for Crystal Palace, I have something a little bit different up my sleeve. So I'll keep that under wraps for now. But it will be something like Core DNA that brings a little bit more immersion, realism, a little bit more depth to the career mode. We will probably use Core DNA 2.0 for a real club later in the year. I'd quite like to do another realistic takeover rebuild, similar to the one that we did with Everton. So I think Core DNA 2.0 would be perfect for that as well, because we get to kind of shape and mold the vision, the ethos of a new era in a real life football club. But got something else planned for Crystal Palace. You'll have to wait and see what that is. And it is a disaster. Liverpool drew. If we could have grabbed a winner against West Ham, we would have had 5th position, 2-2 against Nottingham Forest. They finish on 60 points. We finish on 58. Manchester City, of course, win the Premier League, but they also win the FA Cup and they also win the Carabao Cup. So Manchester City doing the treble. We can check Champions League here as well, and they do the quadruple. They beat AC Milan on penalties. 2 of the finals going to penalties for Manchester City. Does that mean we make the Europa League? Manchester City, of course, make the Champions League because they win the Premier League, but they make the Champions League again because they won the FA Cup. So does that bump a Champions League place down to Liverpool and then bump the Europa League place down to us? That would be my understanding of the situation. However, that could be wrong. So let me know in the comments. I don't think I'm going to get confirmation from the game either way, but perhaps you can give me confirmation in the comments if you understand this a little bit better than I do. Did we meet our final objective on FC24? Did we make the Europa League? If so, yay. If not, boo. Our objectives from the board tell us we didn't reach the Europa League. However, it's actually worded finish in a Europa League spot. And 6th place isn't technically, I guess, according to, the default rules, a Europa League spot. So I imagine that's probably what it's working off. Let's have one final check of the statistics before we sign off for the final time on FC24. Sargent with an incredible season, 19 goals and 5 assists in his 36 Premier League games. Really good campaign for Muniz, who actually didn't play as often as I thought he did in the Premier League at the very least. He scored 10 goals, 8 and 3 for Ruben Vargas. Really, really good campaign for him. Really solid addition to the side. 6 and 1 for Paulson, 5 and 4 for Timo Werner. Xaver Schlager, again, excellent addition. 3 goals and 6 assists from a defensive midfielder who was unbelievably impressive in that capacity as well. 3 goals also for Bassi and Pereira. A couple for Olaru, who only played a handful of games for us. Had a couple of assists as well. Couple for Tosan Adrabayo. 6 assists for Rico Henry. And Xavier Schlager was actually tied in leading assists for the team. Sargent with 5. Yusuf with 5. Werner with 4. How many clean sheets did we get? 8 can't be correct. 8 certainly can't be correct if Leno, in 8th position here in the table, only has 5, because he started every Premier League game for us. All bar 1, actually, by the looks of it, on the right-hand side there. So some of those must have carried over from Alari's previous team. But that will do it for the final episode in Season 3 of what started out as the realistic Norwich City career mode, but kind of morphed into a Fulham / Johannes Thorup career mode. Shame we couldn't win a trophy in this final season, but we came pretty close, and I think we qualified for the Europa League, which is a decent enough place to leave Fulham. And I said it at the beginning of the episode, but I'll say it again here. Thank you so much for your support over the course of FC24. Whether you are somebody who follows the channel from series to series, who watches every video, who comments on every video, I know there are several of you who do that. It truly is appreciated. But even if you drop in from time to time, just leave the occasional like, watch the occasional video. Any support that you give the channel is really, really appreciated. I didn't expect to grow quite as much as we have in year 1, but I'm certainly glad that we have. And as I said, I got lots of good stuff planned for FC25. More of what you've seen this year on FC24, but hopefully bigger, better. So there will be a little break from the channel until FC25 releases, but I will, of course, and I have already got the pre-release version, the ultimate edition of the game, so we will be live on the channel again from the 20th rather than the 27th. So, of course, I hope to see as many as possible of you there. Take it easy.